So, yes, okay. This is where we left off. We are actually going to recover this. I did some thinking, and there's one thing I need to change about this ship. So this is the ship design. This purpose is to go up, try to attach onto the BSS science. Yeah. And then it's going to have some RCS to hopefully then hook up to the hub. Okay. So its job is not as an adapter, because an adapter would be trying to change one connector to another. It's actually a BSS extension. 1. So it's trying to add on to it, but it's not changing the connection at all. It's keeping the same connections. So it's an extension, not an adapter. Okay, so let's make sure we have somebody in the crew. We do? Awesome. Let's go to launch. Which arm is being cut off? This one? Okay. Let's turn up. Turn RCS. Throttle up. And go. So this one is, I think it's fairly stable, if I recall, during our last run, which is good because we have somebody on it, so we want to make sure it's stable enough. Once we get fast enough, I'm going to kill some of the speed that we have. I don't think it'll turn around in circles, but at the very least, I think we'll be okay. I think we'll get up there and have enough juice to do some stuff. We're going to just start with going up, as we usually do. Alright, let's go ahead and slow down a smidge, I think. Just to use up a little bit less fuel. Now we can start working on a gravity turn. Slowly, because it's kind of a weird ship. As it starts running lower on, actually it's pretty stable. Once it starts running lower on fuel, it'll probably be slightly less stable. So yeah, right now I'm looking at a little bit of thinking about spinning around. Slow down more. Let's go ahead and work on our gravity turn some more. Now that we're up in space a decent amount. We're going to exit the atmosphere a little bit. But we're doing really good. We're about to drop off these other extra engines. Things and stuff. Let's go ahead and, now that those are done, let's kill the engines. Let's take a look. So, we are already going out a decent amount. So let's go ahead and add a maneuver in to get it into an orbit. Our objective is eventually to hook up to the BSS science. So we actually don't want to be out too far. Okay, that should be good. Point towards maneuver. Once we get up into space a little more, welcome, JJ Bunzig. Happy Friday. Once we get up into space a little bit more, I'm going to ditch these bigger engines. And then we'll do this maneuver. So in case you missed JJ Bunzig, I've renamed this ship. It is no longer an adapter because it technically wasn't adapting connections. That's why I changed it to extension. So this is the BSS extension 1. Big distinction. It's a good thing I noticed that before we actually did the launch, otherwise it'd be a disaster. Okay, so we've worked our way over to the maneuver. Let's get a little closer to the launch. And then when we go, we're going to also get rid of these other engines. We can do that now, I think. So they're gonna go kind of slowly away, but that's fine. It's about to go shortly. Doot, 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 doot. Those engine fuel tanks and stuff. I almost hit the cameraman. That was close. Dogs are gonna start barking in a second. Headphone users. Okay, we're fine. I think we're clear of the dog barking warning. So we're trying to get in orbit, and then the rest of these engines and stuff we have here are just for getting close to the dude, and then working on docking. I'm going to try and dock backwards, so that might prove to add new challenges into our docking plans. We'll see how that goes. Okay, great. So now let's pop it to here. Let's find our target. We're trying to find the science guy. Set this target. So we do have a little bit of a slope issue, or angle, I guess, maybe is a better term. I want to add a maneuver, but of course this is actually where I am. I'm not the other one. Add a maneuver where this thing gets better, not worse. Been listening to Game of Thrones on Audible, and I'm listening to the most recent book, and it's way different than the show. In book 3, there were some inconsistencies that I thought was odd, that they wouldn't have that in the show, but now it's like way different. I'm gonna leave out spoilers, but yeah, I was like, oh wow. I realized that, I guess the books were done before the show. But it's just really different. It's really weird. Like, I figured the show would be a little bit different. Like, they'd do some things, but like it's dramatically changed. I haven't read those or seen the show, but I have heard that they are very different. In the beginning, like, it seemed like it was like scene for scene, but then all of a sudden, like, it wasn't anymore. Okay, so we're going to burn real short burn. So we'll probably do it maybe slowly. We'll see in a little while. So I guess I could speed up time, and we get to the maneuver. Let's try to click on a thing, which will trigger that dialogue. Not really wanting to do that, it seems. So that makes it tougher to try to do that. Okay, well, I don't really want to. I'll just do manually. Okay. So it's a 3-second burn. We can go a little bit faster. Oops. That was a good thing to have oopses, right? Okay, let's go a little slower. Counting down, counting down. Slow down more. Okay. So, do the burn. I'll go full blast, and then as it gets closer down, I will kill it, and then just kind of like, do it a tiny bit, because I want to get it to be as perfect as I can. We're almost there. Watching the time. It's counting down. The little dots are disappearing. 3, 2, 1. Burn. Okay, here we go. Perfect. This should probably. We have a. This is a 1 degree off. That might be okay. Or 0.1. All right. Where is the best spot to? Let's add a maneuver somewhere. Again, it's still not letting me do a maneuver. Let's go to the tracking center. Let's redo this thing because whatever is going on, it doesn't like me. Doesn't want me to. Oh, I didn't add any food on this thing. So this guy only has. He's starving. He only has 14 days. So we need to make sure we dock by then. Okay. So let's go ahead and. So part of my plan was I was going to take the space station and relocate it, but I guess given that it's not stable enough to do that, that might be tough. Because once you run engines, like the whole thing like collapses. So that might be tough. Okay, our target is here. Let's go ahead and add a maneuver somewhere to try to get a good connection. So no connection indicators. This is still the target, right? Yeah, it's lit up. Okay, let's add Interesting. Could it be the 1 degree different? Let's try again. Okay, there we go. Now we have things. So maybe I just didn't have it far enough. So worse. Okay. Let's play around with this a little bit more. Okay. Ooh, looks pretty good. Good. 7 kilometers. Okay, let's go. Let's be greedy. 2 kilometers. Okay, let's be more greedy. Okay, let's go the other way. 7. I had less, right? Let's go the other way. 0.9 kilometers. Perfect. All right, let's go to the maneuver. It's a very short burn, so we're going to, again, do the same sort of thing we just did. We're going to do the burn, but then as it gets closer, we're going to do it real small. And then when we actually want to get connected with the guy, we're going to want to get rid of these engines because they're in the way. So we're going to get rid of a lot of this fuel we have. Yeah, we're going to do that. I was just thinking that we could technically dock to the front of it, but I'd rather the more complicated docking to the side of the hub, I'd rather do straight on as opposed to trying to back into it. Okay, let's go ahead and get to the maneuver node. So once we do that maneuver, I think I'm going to ditch these outer engines, or not all of them, but just this section of it. So we're going to get rid of a bunch of fuel we have, but it's okay. We will want to maybe get rid of them early so that they aren't hanging out by us. No, I think they'll probably separate out enough. No one wants to parallel park a rocket. Right, exactly. Okay. Yeah, so we're gonna keep the engines. I think once we release them after the maneuver, I think that there'll be enough time for them to go away from us. So we're ready. Phil Ford, you're gonna be dude. You're gonna do an awesome job. And go. Okay. How was that? 0.4. Awesome. Okay. So now let's ditch the bottom parts of the engines. Yes. And go. What did I just do? Let's try again. Okay. All right. We're going to try it again. Decoupler. I think that's the right thing. Let's decouple. Okay, we successfully did that one. Oh, they're not really going where I expected them to go exactly. Don't bump my engines, please. We're just gonna do it manually. Manual override. Everything's fine. I'm not sure why the staging isn't working right. Okay, everything's fine. Nothing's wrong here. So they will slowly drift away. Please don't bump my ship. Goodbye. Okay, great. Everything's fine. We're gonna want to slow down, so that might be a problem with if they are too close to me. But hopefully they'll drift far enough away as we go. And let's not do that. Let's wait. Let's just wait until these things are clear. We're gonna go a little bit before they're, and then we can do that. Okay, everything's fine now. That's weird. Okay, so now what we want to do. Totally fine. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, everything's fine. There's no giant, bombs floating around. Yeah, okay. All right. So here is where we're going to hang out with the dude. Let's warp to here. So once we get kind of close to the guy, we're going to now go retrograde, because we want to slow down relative to our target, which I think is what I want to do here. So we want this to get down to 0, and I think the best way to do that is by burning retrograde. So this is coming up pretty fast, actually. So let's burn. Let's actually use our engines. And then once it gets closer, we're gonna do it a little slower. Okay. So now we are. What's our distance? Okay, so our distance isn't too bad. So there, over there is our target. So now what we want to do is we want to point towards our target. I'm trying to not use as much RCS as possible while I'm working on this. Okay, so then what we want to do is we want to head towards our target, but not too fast. And then get some of our distance, get closer to the guy, go retrograde, get rid of that, whatever the weird angle is I'll be having, and then go from there. So we're gonna go kind of at that speed, I think, as we get closer. So it's gonna be a little while, but we're gonna be getting closer to the guy. Perhaps we're gonna go more. So we'll just stick with this, and then we'll get closer to the guy. Then we're gonna go retrograde once we get there. So I think that's kind of what we do, is you go towards a target till you get closer, go retrograde to stop your relative speed, and you're trying to get closer and closer and closer to their orbit, as well as getting closer to the guy. I think that's what I've learned. The backing up part will be interesting. I'll have to figure out like what the controls are for RCS to like try to properly do that, but we'll see. So we're going to get closer to the guy. And so we can do this probably at faster speed even. And then once that number starts going up, okay, so now we can see it's going down. Good. So we're approaching our closest point. So potentially that might be 90 or 900 meters. So we can speed up a little bit, probably. So once the number stops going up, or once it starts going up, then I know that I need to kill our speed. So or I could even do it now just to kind of fix our thing. Let's do that. So we're trying to fix our orbit so it's a little bit better. We could also decrease the engine strength on these guys to be a little bit better, or be a little bit slower. Okay, and perfect. Oh, not perfect anymore. Anyway, point towards target. I have to remember that if for some reason it looks like it's going bad and this is getting low, then we probably just want to abort, and then this guy's going to go back. Alright, so now we're going to point towards target and then burn a little bit to work our approach. So if we look now, it's a little bit further forward from where we are, but in theory it says 0.7, but it kind of gets fairly inaccurate. As we get closer and closer, that sort of intersection point seems like it's usually wrong. The other guy doesn't have any RCS, so we'll have to. He's gonna have to manually, just with like regular SAS, to actually try to rotate itself. This should get me a little bit closer. We can probably give it a little bit more juice. We can modify these to say like how much. And I guess if we could do it, if we are very careful and we make it set the same number on all of them. If we don't, then that would be a problem. Let's give it 50%. And there might be a way to do them all at the same time, but because if they're even slightly off by a tiny bit, then the ship wouldn't really control itself very well. Can I? Is there a different way I could do this? Okay. Oh, I had it. Okay. No. Okay. All right. There we go. Okay, 50. Awesome. Okay, 50. All right, good. So now what that's going to do is it's going to make it so that the movements, my thrust and stuff I do here is more fine-tuned. So it's halving the power that these engines will do. So up one tiny thing will be much less. So it gives me more control. So what's this? Oh, that's the hub. Oh yeah, okay. I think that's the thing I'm going to be connecting up to. I don't know why it says hub ship. I guess it's because those two things are docked together, maybe. I don't know. Oh, so we're approaching the guy. And then as we get closer, we can kill off some speed. So we're able to do a lot less. So I guess we'll get closer, and then I'll kill off the speed. And we'll inch our way up, and as we get closer, I'll make the other guy rotate. Everything will be perfect. We'll dock. It'll be wonderful. Again, I'm going to be backing up, so some of the things I was able to do was like move forward using the rockets I won't be able to do when I'm actually connecting up, so I'll have to use RCS to do that. Because I want to have these engines. Like, the engines will be pointing towards the other ship. So we're approaching where it thinks will be the closest spot. And once we get there, we can kill our engines to, fix our orbit a little bit more. So once that number starts going up again, I think that's when we want to do it. Oh, sorry about bumping the microphone. Trying to get to my water with my left hand so I can keep my hands on the engines, but okay. Once it also starts slowing down, that's going to tell me that we're getting close to where it's going to start going the other way. So far, so good. Let's go ahead and kill off our thing. Okay. So now we're stable. Port towards target. And the number's changing, but it's because it's relative to part of my ship, and I'm rotating my ship. So the fact the number's changing isn't, and we don't have any relative speed. That's why. Okay. So add a little bit of juice. Okay. Here we come. Hope you guys have figured out a lot of science. I'm really hungry. I have no food. I'm starving. We should eat. We should have a lunch when I hook up. So flexible docking. So we'll also see if that helps. In theory, we're going to be pointing right towards each other, so that it won't be as big of a deal on this one. It'll be more of an issue on the hub. So we'll see if that helps. We'll see if flexible docking works at all. I don't know. Maybe they figured out science to grow food. Could be. Yeah. I mean, if I have enough power, I do have gardens and stuff. So, and there's actually quite a bit of food. They have on the science, they have quite a bit of food. I mean, they'll eventually run out. I'll have to bring up more or bring up a garden to hook onto the space station. But again, yeah. So that space station, I can't really move it like I was planning. I was thinking about slowly maybe, but be able to actually use rockets to move the space station. But I have to move them. It has to be the same shape each way. So I'd have to have another one of these things attached to one side, but even then it would break. So you'd have to have the rockets on the outside hooked up to whatever is the furthest thing out, and then they could probably push forward, but then it might just collapse again. So yeah, you'd have to attach rockets to all of the points of the different thing, and then they'd all have to fire, and I feel like it probably wouldn't really work. It's the short answer for that one. Okay, so we're getting closer. So I don't know how I'll move the space station, I guess is my point. I may have to detach it and then move it to the moon and then reattach it, possibly. I don't know. Or I could just have this live up in orbit, have something go out, do science, come back, and then do the science up in this thing. I don't know. Yeah, probably should stay put. That's probably a good answer. Okay, so we're approaching the guy. Let's go ahead and also make this guy say you are target. So double click, and we can point towards target. It's gonna move very slowly because we don't have any RCS, so it might go infinitely slow. So this might be more difficult than I thought. I don't know. I think it is moving. I think there is movement. It's just real slow. Okay, there it goes. It's picking up. It's picking up. Look, it's starting to move. I think we might want to have the other guy also slowed down. I mean, he's okay right now. But we're going to want to kill off that speed in a little bit. Just because this is going to be a tricky maneuver with this thing having no RCS. Okay, so it's getting there. It's trying to get to this. I like the sun there with the music that's playing right now. Good job, game. Okay, so I think that's good for now. We'll come back to this and mix it up later. But so now this guy, I want to kill off this thing's speed, and so we're going to point retrograde, and then burn a little bit. Okay. So now we are not moving relative to our dude. Point towards target. And then we're actually to point anti-target as we back into our parking spot. So it shouldn't be too bad, I guess, to back up into it. All right, and then we're going to go forward a little bit. Okay, awesome. So we're getting closer. We're going to want to switch to the other guy and then do target. This guy's going to be anti-target when it's actually moving in. But I feel like we'll probably have to switch it up before we get to that point anyway. Oh, in fact, yeah, I do need to target so as we get closer, I need to make sure I target the back port. Can I change that from here? I can. Okay, so I can actually, from this interface, I can change. So my guess is that this is the one I want, I think. We'll find out as it gets closer. Okay, so you're going to point towards target. Hope you guys are doing well. Do you guys have a lot of science to transmit? Yeah, 60 or so, yeah. Alright, so we're cruising in. Let's go a little bit faster. Then we're going to go... We can't actually aim... We can't do retrograde. So that is prograde, so it's going to be on the other side. We're going to do it manually. To try and kill off some of the speed. Once we get closer. So we want to get... For some reason, when you get... when you're going too slow, it won't let you... Actually, I guess that's one thing we could do is point to retrograde, or point to target, which is going to try and do anyway because I forgot to change it. Go fast enough where I think then retrograde exists. Once you get below 1, the retrograde thing doesn't let you do it anymore. So we're going to go a hair faster, retrograde. So I'm learning all these new things. We're going to go retrograde. Which, because we're so close, is nearly anti-target, actually. So I could have done that, probably. Once we get close, then we're going to burn a little bit, get rid of this. And we're just going to try to slowly head towards the guy. We're going to switch to RCS in a little bit, also. We'll see if it all works. So I believe this thing is... Yeah, this thing... I don't know if it's because of the mod or what, but it's automatically targeting the docking port, which is good. I don't have to switch to the docking port like the tutorial had. So my guess is that the mod I have tells you that your target should be, if there's docking ports, make that be the target. Alright. Here we come. And luckily, if we miss, we'll probably run into one of these solar panels, and that'll slow my retreat away from the guy. Right? That's good. So we're gonna get to like 100, and then I'm gonna try to then kill off my speed, and then we'll plan from there. Because at the moment, I think we drift apart a little bit, but we want to get to about 100, and then I'll burn retrograde. Okay, there we go. Now I want to point towards target again. To go forward. Okay. Anti-normal? Anti-target, rather? So now we're going to go to RCS from now on. Okay, we're going to then switch guys. Make sure that we're pointing towards... Yeah, so we're pointing towards that. That's our target. So we're pointing towards the right thing. Now zoom in. Point towards target, which we actually are already doing. Good job. Good team. This one's automatically already good to go. So I think that, like, it's this way better. So I think without even using any RCS, this potentially is already going to work. Just based on, you know, how everything works. So we can turn on RCS, though, to be able to do some minor maneuvers if we need to. But we're right on target. We can switch over, and then this one's, so we want to go target, and then anti-target. So we're going to back in to a parking spot, which I personally don't like to do even with a car. So this is already pretty impressive. And then this thing is indicating that we're pretty good. There we go. We're going to give you a lift because you don't have any amount of propellant. So really, it just seems like when you're trying to do that, either however the hub is designed or something, I don't know. But it was really hard to try and get this thing to stay on its right spot. Here we go. Good thing I didn't click on the wrong button there. Although it is slightly off. We'll see. We'll see. Ramming speed. We'll see. We'll see how if that's not quite close enough. Flexible docking. Yes. Okay. We want to switch vehicles. We're going to point towards target, and we're going to give it a little bit of juice so that we're moving forward. Instead of backwards. Okay, now we're moving forward again. Let's give this another go. Okay, so these guys don't have any RCS. This one does. We want to point towards anti-target. So it's possible that flexible docking can't connect to regular docking. I don't know, maybe. We want to turn on RCS. And we want to mess around with these to try to get these to be a little bit happier. So I think we want to go this direction. So let's just see if I mess around with it, can I make it be happier? Like, I really want it to be right on target there. So if I go this direction, okay, that. So because I'm actually backwards, it's the correct way. Wait, the other way. Here we go. Okay, we're backing up. Beep, beep, beep. So real slow. Let's give it one more little juice. Okay. We'll go a tiny bit faster than that. Tiny bit faster than super slow. We want to point towards anti-target, and we're going to we're gonna adjust. We're gonna adjust it slightly. Let's see if we can dock. Although we want. Why is it not? Point towards target. Oh dear. I'm gonna bounce. Which buttons? Which buttons are which? Okay, good. Yes. So we bounce it off each other, but not by too much. Alright, so we want to point anti-target. We're going to switch vehicles again. Point towards target. Let's try it again. These are just bouncing off each other that direction. Okay, so then we want to go forward some more. So we head towards each other. We're going towards each other now? Or away? Towards each other, okay. So, I think he's automatically correcting right now. I don't know if it's gonna work right, but... So can you dock? Can you even dock? What's for flexible docking? Did we bounce? What's happening? I can't really tell what's going on. Okay, I think we're getting towards each other. That tells me that we might have bounced. Yeah, it's not connecting. Is there... Set his target. I think I already had that, though. Decouple node. Toggle magnets. Wow. So what I'm wondering is are they just not compatible? Which should be a big bummer. Okay, so we have that going. Let's switch targets. Let's go point towards target. And then give it a little bit more juice again. Try and go forward. Okay, so it's on its way over. Let's try to see if it just seems like it's just not going to happen. Like that's like perfect. Huh. Okay. Well, maybe we learned something today. Are we getting closer or no? Are we just gonna hang out at this distance from each other? So maybe the flexible docking was a bad choice. What are the clamps? Wait, what are the clamps here? Regular docking. So this is the regular Clampotron docking port. And then this is I guess I had the target set for the other one. I don't think that'll matter. Well, I guess we could try that. So it's point to target. Oh, that's why when they're bumping off each other, that's why it wasn't indicating, like, the distance still had some distance, but it was because so if we just bump each other. Oh, I should have not turned on RCS. Point towards that. Pop over here. Point towards target. What's happening? Where are you going? Oh, I think as I turned... Okay, let's point towards that. Control from here. Let's point to target. Let's see if that will... what that will do. Please don't bump each other, guys. Okay, I'm going to turn on RCS. And which way is it going to try to... I said control from there, and now I said go to target. Okay. Turn off RCS. Do they need to be opened at all? I don't think so. I think there's toggle magnets. So magnets are now enabled. Let's go to the other ship. We're going to point towards target, which is now looking at the proper one. So I mean, maybe they need to be set as target. I don't know. So he's working on pointing at target. Okay, we're pointing a target. Let's switch. Point to target. Okay, we're here. Point towards target. Let's give it a little oomph. Is that going closer? Okay, it is. So target. It says different sizes cannot connect. Which makes sense. But I don't think they're different sizes. We are on a little bit of a weird... So let's turn on RCS. Let's just go stable. Let's attempt to get these to be happier. That's not working. Let's go target, I guess. Trying to get the crosshairs to match. And then we're going to just go ramming speed on the other one. Okay. So that seems super promising. Okay. Point towards target. Ramming speed. I mean, look at that's like perfect. We're so good at this game. Boop. Okay, So I think we've confirmed it. These are not compatible, I guess. So maybe 2 of these can connect up fine, but not the flexible ones and the non-flexible ones. So, my bad. Sorry. What a bust. Can't even find anything called... Yeah, so it's, which mod is that? I think flexible docking ports is possibly what the mod is called. Let's open up the mod manager. So before I send this guy all the way back, we're close by, so maybe it makes sense to double check. So let's actually go retrograde, which is right over here. I want to, if I turn on RCS, we say stable. What is this? What is this symbol? It's target. I was trying to not move away from the guy as this thing opens up. Okay, so that's good. We're controlling from... I'm just going to turn off RCS and pause the game. Okay, so the program is thinking. It's thinking about opening up. I don't know why it's being like. But yeah, so flexible docking is the mod, I think. Dog gonna start barking. I don't know why this this mod manager is not opening. Well, that's a problem. Okay, so I'm assuming flexible docking, but the program doesn't want to open. Let's try it again. Let's restart the program. My poor PC. Yes, end that window. Thank you. Try again. Okay, that's it. So this says they come in 3 sizes and can operate in standard mode, like regular ports, or the extended mode to be flexible. Okay, interesting. So there's decouple node. I can find out what that does. I can turn off magnets on or off. Status attached. Decouple node. It sucked in. And now I can. Now the only option I have is set as target. Well, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, let's point towards our target with RCS. Oh dear. Oh, never mind. Now I understand what happened. It's gone. Okay, we just got rid of it. That's interesting. Huh. So you have the option to just throw it away, in case you're wondering. Was that an option on this trip for the top? Oh, that's the bottom. So does this thing have... Yeah, there's no decouple. That's weird that... unless just the way I installed it, it wasn't really a docking port. We could try hooking up for science. Let's do the other way. What are we even... Oh, okay. We switched to the docking port. Thank you. Let's go RCS on. We're going to control from here. So we're going to see if possibly... This one has deploy as an option. Interesting. So I think the one that was on the bottom wasn't really functioning. Control from here. Point towards target. This one has deploy as an option. Let's find out what deploy does. Let's turn on magnets. Status. Retracted basic mode. Let's do deploy. Okay. Got it. Interesting. Good. Let's switch targets. So I think the bottom one was not even attached. We want to make this be our target. Yeah, that is flexible. Okay. Alright, let's point towards our target. There goes the dogs. Took a long time for the reaction. Maybe it was upside down on the other one. Possibly. Possible. Some people say they put them on upside down. Okay, maybe could be. My dogs are still barking a lot. Sorry, headphone users. I don't have any control over them. Okay, so now we're pointing towards our target. It's so loud. Okay, let's go forward a little bit. Okay, now we're approaching. A little faster than I wanted to, but we're approaching. Switch targets. Nope, not that target. So flexible docking. Do I really want this like that? I don't know. Let's point towards target. I think we're going slow enough that this shouldn't be a problem. We'll see if this whole thing just like smashes each other. But we're doing a pretty good job. I wish the dog across the street would shit it. Like my dogs. They're all freaked out. Okay, we're heading in. Switch targets. Point towards target. Just to make sure we're perfect. Nope, not that target. This target. Point to target. Let's see. Flexible docking. Maybe it was on upside down. I'm glad we did some more science before we just went back and decided that this thing doesn't work at all. Yes! Okay, perfect. I mean, not what I wanted all, but perfect. Okay. So let's retract. Undock. Toggle magnets. Interesting. So now that I have it deployed, I can't... Okay, well, so it's going to stay like that. That's fine. I mean, that's, you know, you can do that. I mean, it's probably not as stable if we're trying to move around, I bet. But we did some science. Anybody here want to go home? Does anybody inside of here feel like they don't want to be here anymore? Who do we have? We have 2 pilots. Seems like overkill. Alright. You. Let's send you home. Why not? We could probably transfer science down too if we want. Let's go transfer crew. You are extra pilot. You can come. What's this? Module is either fully or you can't get over there. Or not? You can go here, right? Okay, you can go there. Just think of all the practice. Yes, I have. Yes, I have learned a lot. I'm glad that I didn't give up on the game yet. Let's do transfer crew again. Why can't you go anywhere? So you can go here. You can't get through this. Well, that seems useless. Why dock if you can't get through? What parts do I have here? So I have the command pod. I have the clampatron. I have the flexible docking. Do I need to... So I can undock Toggle magnets. Do I need to... So there's rotate. Hatch status closed. Okay. Open hatch. Open hatch. Status none. Perhaps it's not open because it doesn't realize... Let's rotate. Rotate enabled. So I can rotate now. That's great. Because maybe it's the other mod, it doesn't realize it can... It's closed. Open the hatch. Open the hatch. Let's turn off magnets. Well, that's a shame. Okay, well, so then we won't do that. We could potentially transfer some science. Send it back. Let's see if we can do that. So what science do you have hanging out in here? We can do a crew report. Oh, we can actually store that. That's interesting. This science. I'm not actually running any crew in that. I think it's because it's all just in here. We could transmit this back, so there's no reason to really. But on the bright side, he did get to stop, I think, and probably get some food. Because now he's part of the entire ship, so that's good. You got to have a little snack. So either... Because I didn't see an open, like, an option on this thing. So maybe this thing doesn't realize it should open up the hatch. Or there's some reason why it's connected, but it doesn't realize that it can work. So I can't... It's not open. Alright, well that was fun. We could do a spacewalk. If this guy really wants to get back. She does. But I don't think she does. So we're going to go ahead and... This one's status is docked. I'm trying to see if there's a... This one is hatch status closed. Is there a button I have to hit to open up the hatch? Because this one doesn't have that text. There's no hatch status. Forum suggests it may be incompatible of a mod. Okay, yeah, so it might just be that we're able to dock the two things finally, but they don't know how to talk back and forth. Okay, so I probably just want to use regular docking ports. I mean, this is interesting in some cases if I wanted to connect stuff together using that. But I think I'm going to do regular docking ports. But we've got a lot of practice out of this. Apparently people test these things on the ground first. Huh. Testing things on the ground first. Interesting. Interesting. Huh. Okay. Okay, we have not any time left, but let's go ahead and land this guy. So we're going to undock. Anything we want to do here? No, let's just undock. Okay. We want to change targets. We want to retract. We're going to go back home. So we want you to be careful not to run into the guy. So it's actually, we're drifting a little bit apart. Let's play it out. So we're a little bit further apart. Weird pictures of crafts on wheels. Yeah, so you can also use this as rovers and stuff. As like connecting different parts of a rover together. I was just trying to use it in this case, but it didn't really work the way I was expecting. So it might make more sense not in space to use these flexible docking ports. Okay, so we want to land. So if we point retrograde, we control from here. SAS. Okay, there we go. Point retrograde. I think that will slow us down. We want to slow that down until we are going to actually enter. Do we have... Let's think about this. So there's some problems. We don't have any heat shield on this thing. We do have parachutes, but no heat shield. What's the likelihood of this thing surviving going in without a heat shield? Because the other option is we can't dock, but we can EVA. I mean, we're getting closer to it. We can EVA and survive. How important are heat shields? Should we not figure out how important they are? Let's point. Set as target. Point to target. We're abandoning that plan. And we're gonna get closer to the other dude. We're gonna point anti-target to kill off some of the power. And then at some point we're gonna want to get rid of the guy, so he's not hanging out by us. But we're gonna do that after we abandon ship. So we're gonna do that still on stream, and then we'll end the stream after the guy gets in here, because there's a lot of space in here, so he'll be able to hang out. So he's gonna actually abandon this adapter because I did not put a heat shield on here, and I don't want to test how that works without, you know, I don't want to test that. That's bad. We could. No, we can't dock. Right. We can't. Okay. So we'll get a little bit closer, kill off the speed, which is actually, we'll want to go to this symbol. Good to find out now before he... Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm glad I thought about that. So now we're pretty close to the dude. Let's go ahead and get rid of the speed. Okay. So now we're just hanging out. This is probably close enough that I can try and do my RCS stuff. Okay. Alright. We're fine. Let's do an EVA. And let go. Turn on RCS. Look at all this practice we're getting with all kinds of things. So where's the ladder? Where's the door? Okay, right there. Let's slow down. I'm gonna go up. Up. Down. Slow down. Up. B. Grab F. I didn't realize I was that close. And aboard. It's full. Okay. Hold on. I can perform maintenance. That's cool. Let's go. We're going to switch to this ship. We want to transfer crew. Move, please. Let's go to... Now, is he considered a ship? No. Oh, yeah, I'm okay. I'm switching to him now. Board. B. Perfect. See? Everything's perfect. We're able to fix that problem. Now, we also want to get rid of that guy. So let's go... let's point... Prograde. Look at this. We can EVA, fly around, or spacewalk or whatever it is, and we can dock, and if the ports are compatible, we can even like transfer crew around. We can rescue people. We're so good at this game. Okay, so we're at a point prograde. I kind of just want to get away from this rocket, so I don't ever bump it. Like I don't want it to be like a similar orbit, and then all of a sudden it flies by and knocks out my my stuff. And there's no remote controls in that thing, so I can't really control it at all. So we're gonna now burn prograde, which is gonna increase our orbit a little bit, just so we can get away from this guy. So now we should have a, I mean, so we didn't do a lot, but I mean, enough that that guy's going to be over there. I think if we also point radially out, is he going to point towards the thing? Oh, it's really slow at turning. I should have had like reactionary wheels or something. Anyway, we recovered all of our people, so we have to hire somebody else new. But he's up here, and he gets to, and he has food for a while. He's good. We still don't have a good solution for docking with the, yeah, because I think one of the ships we want to have RCS, and it's probably the other one. So we're going to, we'll get back to that. Let's go ahead and just do a little bit of a burn here. Okay, that's good. So what does our orbit look like, just to make sure it's not going to be unstable? Okay, so it's fine. So now we are even further away from this guy. His orbit's going to be something else different. I mean, we're sort of close, but far enough apart, so I don't think we'll run into each other. So that'll be it. Hope everybody has enjoyed. We're playing this again next Thursday, unless of course it ends up being voted for Patron Tuesday. But I hope everybody has enjoyed. We learned a lot. We learned that flexible docking is not really all that good unless you're doing rovers and you're doing compatible parts. Also, I potentially had that one upside down, or it doesn't work in that same way. I'm wondering if docking ports on the bottom will work, though. I guess we'll find out next time. We'll see. We'll make Adapter 2. BSS Adapter 2. But that'll be it. Thank you, everybody, again, for watching, and I will see you guys next time.